Hey guys, it's David here, and it's currently day 278. I hope you guys had a good day and are doing better than yesterday. But the time is currently 5:36. So I'm gonna get up now, and instead of doing some work this morning like I normally would, I'm gonna go to the gym and get my workout out of the way. Now, I'm doing so because I know today I'll be shopping, I'll be out of the house for until afternoon. So if I get the work out of the way and I come back later today, that means I'll have a little bit more time to work on my project because I think that way will be better for me than just to do some work this morning. Because what I realized is that although eating carbohydrates will give you a cloudy mind, by not doing work isn't because we eat carbs. By not doing work isn't because we are not focused. It's simply because we don't want to do the work. So I think not having carbohydrates in the first thing in the morning or delaying eating food will definitely give you more clarity. Will definitely make you more focused. But the thing is, we can still stay focused if we want to, if we have control of our mind. And not eating any food in the morning definitely will be a tool for you to be focused. But if you really want to do it in life, then you will do anything to get it. So, yes, not eating carbohydrates will be beneficial, but I am going to do it either way. So, for me, that isn't really a problem. So, I'm gonna get up now and go to the gym. It's going to be an amazing back session because it is going to be the last one. And then I think I'm due for deload, which is pretty exciting because I just don't want to go to the gym anymore. Not being lazy, but it's just like, it's just a bit too much at the moment. So due for deload, and that means I can spend more time, more mental energy, more energy in general to focus on my crafts. That being said, today will be an amazing day because I know exactly what I want to talk about. But before I get into that, I'll go to the gym now, get ready, and I'll see you guys when I come back from an amazing training session. Hope you guys have an amazing Saturday, and I'll see you guys when I get back. Bye-bye. This hair is pissing me off. But guys, I am back from my workout and it's currently 8:43. So about an hour left before I have to go out and buy some groceries and do some other errands before I get to come back. So before that, I do want to get some reading in so that when I come back, I could go right into my work block for coding. But before I do any of that, I want to talk about what the topic of the day would be. And that is to leave your ego, your goddamn ego, your precious ego and pride at the door. No matter what you are doing, throw your ego away. Right? Ego is the one thing that stops you from reaching your potential. Ego is the one thing that stops you from solving your true problem. Why? Because we have this ego, this sense of pride that we are better, that we are stronger, that we are smarter than everyone else around us. And when you have this ego, this intoxicating drink in your bloodstream, it clouds you, it fools you into what you can actually become. Right? Ego may make you feel like you're the shit, but in reality, ego is the thing that stops you from becoming the shit. Why? Because a lot of the times when we have ego, we don't focus on solving our true problem. We are blind to what's actually holding us back. We think we are stronger, so we lift more weights than we are capable of handling. We think we are smarter, so we bombard us with information thinking we can retain everything. Right? We think we are better than everyone else, thus we don't feel like we can improve, and we think everyone else is the problem to our life. That we are not successful because somebody else is the issue. And we are never the issue, right? We are never the problem. And you see, this is the reason why ego is the biggest and the most toxicating thing one person can possess. So no matter what you do in life, leave that shit at your door. Before you come to your office, leave your ego at the door. Before you meet someone, leave your ego at home. Before you go to the gym, leave your ego in the locker room. Because every time ego comes into play, you are performing less than what you are capable of performing. And why can I say this? Because I have been controlled by ego for so long in my life. And quite frankly, ego still plays a lot in my life at the moment. Why? Because as you improve in life, you also increase the amount of ego you have. And that's the reality of the sad, right? You think if you improve, you think if you get better, then you're going to root out all these negative behaviors like your egotistic, your fears, your doubts, and whatnot, and problems. But the thing is, as you improve in life, you will actually have more of these. These will accumulate more because you take on more responsibilities, you take on more risk, and life, most importantly, becomes more problematic. But the thing is, those will be good problems. However, if you don't keep yourself in check, if you are not humiliated, and if you are not humble, then ego, your fears, your problems will become bad problems because you will allow them to control you once again and cloud your judgment and making the wrong choices in life. People will start to resent you because you think you're better than other people. You're going to get injured at the gym because you think you can lift more than yesterday to impress someone, to impress your precious pride. And ego will ruin your self improvement journey and will make you into a worse person if you don't leave that shit at the door. And a lot of the times, even now, ego has played into my life. I think I am smart. I think that I can learn how to code. I can write programs like Mozart writes freaking music. I think I am the guy who can just study and study and study and become great the next day or just improve a lot. Right? All of this is a lot of ego build up because I had improved, because I have come so far from who I have become. And sometimes in interactions with people, I do feel like I have this extra confidence. While I know that confidence may have just been ego, it has maybe been a subtle cue of me thinking that I am better than the other person. So to stop myself from doing that, a lot of the times I have to question really why I am acting like I am acting. Am I increasing my weights at the gym because I have progressed and that I have to increase my weights? Or am I increasing my weights because I think today I'm going to lift 10 kilos more because I want to impress my ego? I want to feed my ego. Am I studying for 5 hours or 6 hours because I think I can learn everything like that? That if I study more, then I'll learn because I'm smart? Or am I doing it because I want to get better and I know I am not competent enough? Thus, I need to study for longer. See, a lot of the things we do in life may be for the same purpose. Our intention behind it is a thing we need to question. And a lot of the times, we don't question it. And a lot of the times, that intention is driven by our ego. Our ego, which has a superficial gain in the moment to make us feel good, to make us feel better because our ego has been fed, rather than focusing on long-term growth, rather than focus on internal principles and values. Right? You think you can lift 10 kilos more in your bench press. Well, guess what? You may feel good, but you may injure yourself and you'll be out for 3 months or 6 months. Then who's laughing? Then your ego's hurt, right? You may think you're smart. You may study for 6 hours learning new concepts, learning how to build things. And guess what? The next day you forget everything. Well, guess what? You feed your ego, but you wasted a shit ton of time. And you may feel like you're the confident guy. You may think that by being so confident, by being so assertive around people, you're being this so-called confident person around people and they should admire you. But your overt confidence, your overt assertiveness may be driven by your ego because you think other people are less than you. And thus, they are not admired by your actions. They are not awed by your behaviors. Rather, they secretly resent you. They condemn you because they think you're asked for being so bold. And a lot of the times, we don't want to do wrong to the world, right? We don't want to be egotistic. We don't want to lift weights just to get injured. We don't want to study just to forget. And we don't want to talk to people just to be resented, right? We all have good intentions in our life, and I do believe that, unless you're the minority. And I can say that too because I used to have bad intentions. But if you have the purpose of doing good in the world, of becoming better than yesterday, of changing the people, then I do believe none of us wants to inflict pain onto others. But a lot of the times we don't question our intentions and we don't question our motives as to why we are acting so confident, as to why we are so stubborn to take back a step and to regain our focus on the bigger picture. A lot of the times we have a skewed intention driven by ego because we didn't leave our ego at the door. We didn't check our ego. So Please have the time today to really question your intentions lately. Are you doing the same you are doing at the moment because you have a need to fuel your ego? You have a need to fuel this desire within you. And if the answer to that question is yes, then I recommend and I suggest taking a step back as you reevaluate how you can leave your ego at the door. How can you quiet down your ego? Now, I understand that this won't be a pleasant feeling, and I understand this will be a direct strike at your pride and ego. But just to understand that once you leave your ego at the door, once you leave this emotional baggage behind you, then you become better, you perform better, and you accelerate more in your journey. Now, I know this is very hard to believe, as how can I get better and gain more muscle at the gym if I take some weights back? How can I improve on my studies? How can I improve on my business if I take some time back? How can I improve on being confident if I stop being so assertive around people? Now, I know it's very hard to believe, like, how can you become better if you take time back from it and just slow down a bit? But the thing is, sometimes when we go too fast, we end up going in the wrong direction. We end up going too fast and we hit brick walls. We hit brick walls and we go past where we're supposed to leave. And that is a problem. That is a problem because we always want to grow, 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 and accelerate and become better than yesterday. But the thing is, sometimes we can only handle so much, and we have to face our reality. We have to understand that we are first not on steroids, so you can't lift as much as the other guy. And second of all, you are not Elon Musk or Einstein, that you cannot just learn everything in the universe, right? You are not the most charismatic person. You're not Tom Ford. You're not Chris Hemsworth, so you can't just be so charismatic around people for being assertive, right? So a lot of times we have to understand that we have to go at our own pace. And going at our own pace isn't slowing down. And it's to also set realistic goals that maybe I just can't get to the way I want to be, even though I am putting in all my effort to do so. Maybe it is just I have to spend a few more years to learn the subject, or maybe I just have to spend a few more years in this industry to get my business to go off. Because I first am not gifted with these talents. I second of all am not inherited any of the wealth. And third of all, I don't have any connections to accelerate in this industry. So a lot of times we have to face our reality. And I'm not saying slack off. I'm not saying be complacent. And I'm not saying be lazy. I'm saying something far from it. I'm saying try your best. Try your best, but understand what you can handle and always push a little bit more. But always reflect back on your intentions. Because if you don't focus on your intentions, then you will be driven by the wrong fuel, by the wrong motives. Although your purpose may be for the better good, but your intention may just poison that. And eventually, you may do wrong to the world, or you may hurt someone who you purposeful did not want to. So, another warning to leave your ego at the door. And certainly, it has been a long challenge, a battle for me to just quiet down my ego. And I just understand that this thing will pop back up every single day if we don't be self-aware enough. So, certainly, it is definitely a challenge I am still facing. But I'm confident to say that every time I have let ego take control of the driver's seat, I have always performed less. I have always felt shittier. And I had always done worse than if I had just focused on my principles. That being said, I'm gonna do what I said, read some book before I go shopping for the week. But today, still young, still full of opportunities, and I'm just excited to really bounce back from my few days of feeling a little bit quote unquote sad. But that is all because I had distracted myself from watching a little bit of YouTube, from watching a little bit of just shorts on my phone, and that really drains my dopamine. So understanding this definitely allowed me to regain control of my happiness because I understood that I am not sad because I feel like a failure, but rather this piece of shit has sucked away all the energy and my life force from my soul. So this just goes to show that once you understand your purpose and life vision in life, having distractions like these will do you more harm than good. So if anyone out there tells you that watching a movie is therapeutical, that scrolling on your phone is therapeutical, then they have no idea what the heck they are talking about. Hate me if you want, but this is really what I believe in. If you use this to distract yourself, then you are not doing yourself a favor. There's so much more better ways to rejuvenate your mind and relax in your mind. And certainly watching this crap on scrolling on TikTok, watching YouTube, whatever, is doing you more harm than good. But that being said, I'm gonna go find my peace and come back to read some books before I head off. But I'll see you guys in a bit. So guys, the time is currently 3:44. I spent the few hours when I came back to cook the food for next week, and I also ate all the food I am allocated today, which means I have my rest of the day to work on what I want to do. However, when I came back, I have to be honest with you guys, I spent 1 hour a little bit distracted on my phone. Now, usually, this is something I'll criticize myself for. This is something I'll condemn. And certainly, I am very disapproval of my actions. However, there is nothing else I could do because that is already in the past. So, what I can only focus on now is to do the work, which is what I am here to do now. And I didn't want to make a clip until tonight because, quite frankly, I felt a little bit defeated after spending an hour on my phone, which is a clear sign because I don't agree with my actions. But I thought to myself, I'll still make this clip today just to update with you guys on the reality of life, and that is sometimes we get distracted. And why did I get distracted? Because I had nothing else better to do than eat food. And when I was eating food, I picked up my phone and opened YouTube, and one action leads to another, and that just kind of snowballs. And what I realized is sometimes it's pretty hard to get out of that destructive cycle when you're already self sabotaged. But you have to understand if you don't put away the distraction now, then you're going to make today even worse. So, yes, it's going to be hard to stop scrolling. It's going to be hard to stop enjoying pleasure. But just know you have something more meaningful to do. And if you don't have something more meaningful, you have to go search for it. Because spending your time being distracted definitely isn't a way to find purpose in life. You're not going to feel fulfilled, and life won't be as good as you're going to get. So, that being said, I'm going to get into my work block now, and it's going to be an amazing one because I am going to control my mind and take it at a bite size at a time. That being said, I'll see you guys tonight.
So guys, the time is currently 8:17, and as you guys can probably tell, I have been going through perhaps a lot of pain in the past few hours, but most know it is very good pain. Why? Because through pain, through emotions, we are going to retain what we're going to learn much better. Why? Because any emotion that comes into contact with what we do, we tend to remember it more because emotions drive us forward. Emotions drive our intentions. And if you just do something without emotions, then you kind of just don't care, right? And the emotions could be positive. Obviously, that's the good thing, right? But also, any emotion will trigger that desire to retain, to learn from your mistakes. And at the moment, that could just be discomfort. Now, though I had experienced failure for the past few hours, the pain has been good pain. Why? Because I am not as anxious, as stressed as to not overcoming my problems because I faced my realities that I had to take my time to understand these concepts for me to grasp the idea behind how I can use these into my project. Now, I understood this, which is why I am no longer stressing, no longer thinking that I have to complete this by end date, which allowed me to be more flexible with my emotions. It allowed me to be more flexible with understanding my pain as not a threat, but an indicator of learning. So, for the past few hours, although I haven't accomplished much for say, I could say through this pain, through this failure, I have managed to learn just a little bit more. And to me, that is going to be important. And to me, retaining today's information will be important because if I don't retain this, then I had gone through this pain all for nothing. But that's a good thing with failure, is that we will remember our mistakes. Because if you are someone who had experienced pain, who had experienced discomfort, and are willing to make the same mistakes, then you are not using your brain, because you're simply just repeating the same mistakes over and over again. Now, I had done this a lot of times before, but now I am more equipped because I have learned from my failures. So today has been a wonderful day because I had bounced back from adversity. I had bounced back from what I see as a great failure. And breaking this cycle of unintentional rest has definitely allowed me to regain control of my life. And that has always been a fabulous feeling. But that being said, today is still young. I still have some time left for the day to recap what I had learned this lovely evening. So I'm gonna go do that now, and I do hope you guys has had a wonderful weekend just like I have, and I'll see you guys here tomorrow for self-reflection. But that being said, I hope you guys had learned something from this, but if not, like always, I'll be here for you guys tomorrow. But until then, good night.